Don't try that at home.
Allora, che cosa ha avuto di speciale il tuo incontro con David Cronenberg? Ovviamente è tanto da farti dire non faresti qualsiasi film senza neanche bisogno di leggere la sceneggiatura.
I mean, obviously there's some connection, there's a sensibility that we have in common on some level. He's quite a different person than I am, and yet the things that he finds amusing, I often do. That's always a start. The things that you laugh at or find could be something that's very ordinary in terms of behavior or some statement someone makes. And then, let's say you're sitting at a table, dinner, there's a bunch of people there, and somebody says something. You look around and it doesn't seem strange to you. That one person's kind of wrong. And you got contact with them and you know that you share a language of perception, I suppose, is what it is. And he's also extremely organized, which I like. He's trusting, he expects a lot. I also expect a lot from myself and from others. And he's not insecure, I mean, we all are insecure on some level. And directors and actors are more insecure than most people, I would say generally. And sure, he doubts certain things. Otherwise he wouldn't be open to changing things as we're going along. But I would say he's one of the most secure directors I've ever met, maybe the most, because he is not threatened by input from others. He knows exactly what's useful to him in the moment. He has an excellent instinct that's well trained over the years, and he has no problem saying to me or anyone else, he's said to me before, that's by far the stupidest idea I've heard all week from you or anyone else. Anything else? I go, well, we could do this. He goes, no, that's all right. I'll try that. Or I'll just show him. Usually it's just a show him. And it's mostly unspoken. That was immediately I realized that during History of Violence, the first day even, I would do something, go, let's just try another one. Let's just watch him feeling me out, and then try something else. And look over him after the take, and he'd be like, okay, yeah, we got that, that's good. Without even knowing, or I'd say, and he'd go, you want to do another one? Just, what do you want to do? And I go, well, okay, good. I didn't even say anything, but he knew exactly what it was. I mean, there's that's very rare in any relationship, but we do have that. He knows, and has known from early on, that I'm never there trying to mess his movie up or what another actor's doing. I'm in it with him, the storyteller, because he knows that just like himself, that's what I most like about it. I like the storytelling. And anything that might possibly work is not a bad idea to try. And he agrees. But he knows his limits, he knows the limits of the day. And I don't think he's ever finished a movie where he didn't finish on time or before time, on or under budget, which is quite rare for any. And it's because he is organized, he knows himself. He knows his limits, he knows the limits of the people working for him. He's able to use everybody's talents.
Ma proprio seduto dove stava lei ha raccontato, abbiamo fatto vedere la scena dell'omicidio nel bagno turco e lui ne ha parlato come una scena particolarmente impegnativa. Immagino che sia stata molto complicata anche per lei, una delle scene più difficili da girare, che si ha l'impressione però per lo spettatore che i movimenti sia un po' come una danza, sono stati studiati a lungo.
Yeah, it was an interesting scene. I mean, it was a scene that would have been nice to do it. Carol Spear, who's the designer, did an amazing job. This was a set. They had a place that looked pretty much just like this. It was a real bath house, and they went and looked at it, and 2 weeks later they went back and they had remodeled, so it didn't have that old look, you know? And they decided, well, we'll build it. We'll make this set, and she did a great job. It wasn't as much like the bath, in that it wasn't like really warm and steamy, the smoke and stuff. It looked as good, it wasn't as comfortable, I would say. But we were, you know, I mean, the only thing I knew is that yes, I was going to be naked, and that I wouldn't have pads and things, so it would be somewhat painful. But he was, again, extremely organized, and I trusted him by then completely, so I didn't worry about it. I didn't, you know, vanity didn't enter into it really. It was just, let's make sure the choreography worked and nobody gets hurt too much. And it was very efficient. It was a study in how to, he's not someone who's known, now he maybe is, but wasn't known before history of violence for shooting action. So he's quite open to doing it in the way that seemed best, listening to the stunt coordinator and so forth. And since I had done action scenes, you know, listening to me as well and working with us. And in History of Violence as well as in Eastern Promises. And I would say Ed Harris did that too, with Appaloosa. As did Agustín Díaz-Llanes and Ana Triste. The action is not showing off the photography. It's not overtly trying to make more beautiful something that really isn't beautiful at all, the action or the consequences of the action. And so in this bathhouse, it was very matter of fact. We worked on it very hard in the gym to make sure we had all the movements. And then we adapted little things like the end with the knife and all those things. Those are things that came up with on the spot. I was lying on this guy. I thought, well, I could do this to an arm and so forth. What do you think? Yeah, okay. And but he shot the whole scene in the one room as a master the first day, and then the same first day, all the master in the second room. So, you know, I got the crap beat out of me in a big way, but doing it efficiently. And then on the second day, he just picked up little pieces that he needed. Another director might have shot for 4 or 5 days if he had the time and the permission, and it would have been unnecessary. So it was a model of efficiency, and also just as the movie, he works with the same people a lot. It seemed like working with him like I did his crew, and the atmosphere is very relaxed. You know, and he also has that kind of sick humor, so he's always making jokes about being naked, and you know, it was okay. It made it fun, which is really, you gotta remember that it is supposed to be somewhat fun. It isn't supposed to be, but it can be, you know, and I like it to be. He's the kind of director that reminds you of the fact that because a story is intense, because maybe emotionally it's hard, physically it's hard, the material is provocative perhaps, it doesn't mean that the experience of shooting the movie has to be a big pain in the ass, and everybody has to be all stressed out and yelling at each other and violent, emotionally or physically, and screaming and yelling. A lot of directors think, and a lot of actors think, well, if I'm not really smacking someone, I'm not really abusing myself, abusing others, I'm not creating an atmosphere that's charged. But that's just amateur. That's not professional, you know, and it's just not. And people do that a lot. You don't have to have sex with someone to seem like you're having sex. You don't have to punch someone in the head to make it look like you punched them in the head. You don't have to, you know, Patricia Arquette and I got along really well. It doesn't look like it in that scene, you know, but that's acting. That's our job, you know. I don't understand people who make it miserable. It doesn't have to be Cronenberg, the guy who reminds you that you can have a good time and tell a story about people